I don't know.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm the
I can
same
only
way.
speak to
Cali.
California, what happened
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless,
Yeah. So um. So yeah, there was a playbook, and like they threw it out, or they never read it, or whatever. Like they didn't acknowledge it, and then on top of that, they just blatantly were like, it didn't even
it,
exist.
you know what though?
So it's like multiple
Like
levels
think of
again.
it maybe like think of it like this. And I'm not trying to like dissuade you from what your thoughts are already on the issue. But
Okay.
think of it like a new football coach comes in on the scene, right?
Hmm.
And the old football coach has already laid down all these plays and all of these things, and the new football coach like wants to wants to make their own plays, wants to make all these other things, kind of like just without without like they
The
don't want the other coach to
constrictions
get
of the old.
they don't want the other coach to get like the credit. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of like an analogy to
The
what's
question is
happening.
why, and some people would think
Mm-mm.
that it's some people would think that that's racially charged. Why?
Oh, I don't. So
Yeah, some people would
you
think that.
thinking because Obama was black, like overall, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no, no, no. I don't think so.
I'm
I
thinking
shoot,
people
I
think
don't think
that.
so. Yeah,
I'm
that's kind of
thinking that
sad if it is,
I would
but I don't
agree.
think so.
I would agree.
No, I
You know what I mean?
honestly like Trump and Barack just have completely different. They're trying to solve the same problems, going the exact opposite ways. Like honestly, that's just that's how it is.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're looking at that way as like that way's racist as fuck. And
Yeah.
people are like, no, it's not, it's not, it's not. And we're like, okay, prove it. But you're having a
Well,
hard
how can
time.
you?
It seems,
Wait, now hold on a second. Now, how can you prove it's not racist?
um, by speaking up for
And and,
things, by
and
speaking up
proving
for
that it's
things,
racist, because you can I mean you can claim, okay, well, um, our last president was black and our new president's white, and because he disagreed with everything you said, he's racist. That's like that's not how racism works,
nah, it's a
right?
significantly,
Like,
it's significantly more insidious than that. It's significantly more insidious. Like layers and layers and layers and layers and layers, like racism with a smile in your face. You know what I mean? It's dark, and it's a fucking unseen seeping.
I would hope you'd like expound on it, because I mean, currently I'm not seeing it. I don't
You
follow the logic
and
train.
that's the thing. It's like um
No, it's
one
just
would
it's a
say
tr-
one
it's
would
a
say
it,
one would say one would say a lot of the ideas that Obama had was like good. Like he wanted to do things um like give health care to everyone. He wanted everyone to be able to have health care. And he and my thing about that is like, okay, America is supposed to be one. Oh, I'm totally streaming right now. America is supposed to be like one of the smartest. Am I streaming right now? Yeah, I am. America is supposed to be like one of the smartest countries. Like, how are like we not able to come together and think of a plan so that everyone's able to benefit from this? You know what I mean? And people aren't
right.
really financially hurt from it. But for some reason, it's just not. It just cannot. And so then this new guy is like, he doesn't even want to add to it. He doesn't even want to try to make it better. He wants to rip it down and like put a new plan in place, but he hasn't even, you know what I mean? Mind you, while we're doing all this and talking about all this, everything Kay said is still going on in the background with them gathering our information via social media. And then you also got to think, who are the
Mm-hmm.
people making these programs? Who are the people making these algorithms?
Oops. Yeah. Well, those are like big tech companies.
What color are they? At the very
Well,
top.
they're diverse. I mean, they're diverse.
That's
That's their whole
and that's,
thing.
I feel like that, and that's
That's their whole
misleading.
line of reasoning,
That
right? Like,
that's very
remember when?
misleading,
What
because
do you mean? How?
have you heard recently about Google?
Okay, no.
yeah, like okay, like when you think about Google, you think Google is like a very inclusive and everything like that. But lately, Google employees have been coming out like saying how like the company is trying to like censor them and keep them quiet and firing them um for it, like this is like
Hmm.
so even some place like Google, and Google is a sponsor of NPR, and NPR has come out with stories like has come out with these stories. That's where I like I said, that's where I hear most of my stuff. You know what I mean? You
Hmm.
know what, so it's like they could totally be putting, like, once again, they could be putting up a front while they're doing whatever they're doing in the background.
So I mean,
You
I
know what
don't
I
know.
mean?
Like
But still,
I
that front could be
appreciate
highly
like
dangerous.
right. Okay. Okay. Like I
Can I
guess
get cut in for 2 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead,
sure.
please. Yeah.
Grandmaster? Question mark.
Huh? What?
I am. Yeah, he's not playing Destiny. I'm on Destiny still. I can try with you. Yeah. Do we would need to get a third though? I'm assuming. 'Cause
Oh
Clash
yeah.
is off.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What are you guys talking about with that?
It's like a freaking heart strike, basically.
Yeah, but you need three
You
people.
have to be you have to be like my level, like what is it? It's 12
1275.
75 or something like that. Something
Oh,
crazy
I
like
don't
that.
have that anyway.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
No, no worries.
Um,
But getting back to why I think America's racist as shit, and you were gonna be like,
is
it's not.
wow, where was I? Oh yeah, America's racist. Oh gosh, Jesus, dude. Oh my gosh.
Light the mood.
Grandmaster? What kind of Grandmaster are you talking
Which
about?
kind of
Where's
grass are
this?
you talking?
Fucking slave master? What?
Oh my goodness.
Grandmaster of
That's fun.
racism.
That's fun. This is fun. I like it. I
Um,
like it.
it makes you wonder. So, okay, um, something that, and I'm not like I don't know. I'm not a good practicer of this. Because I recognize my own biases and my own echo chamber.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
I recognize that,
Yeah.
and I guess that's my own. It's like my own fault that to widen my breadth of like perspectives and ideas, right? Is yeah, it can be challenging sometimes, especially if like you think someone else is making a really valid point and it's really like it's on point, and you're like, oh man, that just makes just like all the sense in the world. And then you
Yeah,
see
it
someone
gets me
else.
when a conservative does that, and it's like, oh my god, I don't like you right now. You go, yeah,
Hmm.
no actual, actual response to it, because it's like, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Continue.
but at the same time, like,
How did I just get charged with murder? What the fuck? I'm sorry.
oh man,
No,
they're coming
yeah,
after you, dude.
mhm.
At the same time, it's like I don't
Being black in America.
know. Wow. Isn't your character white, or can you make him? Is it a
Oh, my
character created?
character, he's a black cowboy. There was a whole lot of black cowboys.
Okay, okay, okay.
There's
Is
a
he a
lot.
sheriff too?
No,
Is this
he's
like
a everything.
is
You
that
don't
a
have Red
Blazing
Dead
Saddles
Redemption?
moment? I don't. You ever
Oh,
played it?
dude, do you know they're offering Red Dead Redemption online for like 4.99. You could buy like Red Dead Redemption online. You don't have
Oh,
to actually buy the game, even though I don't know why. Like the game is like freaking unto itself like pretty awesome.
pretty awesome. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
might
like
give it a shot.
it's definitely. I'm surprised Kawhi also doesn't have it, but he doesn't. He only plays Destiny really,
Yeah.
and then everything else he plays on PC. He's more PC. So
You know, it kind of it makes you wonder. Like, okay, so like, you're telling me you listen to NPR, you listen to Joe Rogan,
hmm.
and 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 it's not to like bash those perspectives, but those are
Right,
the perspectives that you listen to. So those are the things that you're
right,
that's currently your echo chamber,
right.
right? Like
This I would
that's
agree with.
could we agree on that or like no?
Yes, I 100%, 100%. And I will watch Fox News every now and then just to get, uh, just to hear what they're talking about. But there's some things like there's some stances that they like that get taken that I just find so egregious. Like stances on like when uh like like when black males get killed by cops, like and like certain stances on that, like we're just like, why do you, like, how is that even, how, like, how is there no accountability? How are like so many of them able, like they're just able to pull their trigger without, you know what I mean, like, or I'm
Right.
trying to think of another example, like uh
So there's no. So you're saying there's like no repercussions that are
or
drastic enough,
like,
or
or no, like the picture that they'll paint, it'll be like, what's the big deal, you know? And it's kind of like, are you kidding me, bro? A young man just got his shit blown loose and he's dead in
right?
front of his daughter.
Right.
Or Tamir Rice, who was an 11-year-old kid and was shot like in a playground. And I think that cop is still a cop. I don't know, like nothing really. I don't think he got prosecuted. You know what I mean? Or even like, or Trump, like what's his name? The 5 kids in New York who got arrested for rape, and Trump was like a main, well, like when he was younger, he was like a main one saying that they needed to be locked up, they needed to be locked. And then years later, it turned out the same way you guys are not for the Me Too movement. You know what I mean? It turns out years later that they were all innocent, but they all spent like fucking 20. There was a whole documentary on it on Netflix.
Well, the whole issue with the Me Too movement that we were trying to describe to you
Mm.
was the fact that there have been multiple
Absolutely.
cases of like false,
Yeah.
false things that have happened, and people have lost their careers or whatever, livelihoods or lives even for that matter. Like,
Yeah.
so the things like that type of stuff is out there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I guess the clearest that I can ever think about this is like, I assume that if a cop pulls their weapon and uses lethal force on anybody, it is for a just reason that they believe in, like that they
You
believe
would you
they
would
are going.
you
Right.
would hope.
That's what I'm saying.
You would
That's what I'm
hope.
saying. Like,
But
you know,
everyone's human,
they.
and humans,
Yes.
as we know, can be cunts.
Okay.
They can be. They fucking can be. And if you give them a badge and a gun and they feel like being extra cunty that day, they have something
Right.
else that they can hide behind. You know what I mean? And what will aggravate me sometimes with the other side, it'll kind of be like they'll just kind of, I'll just let them off the hook. What's the big deal? And I don't know. Sometimes it feels like where it's like
Well,
they're
again,
insensitive. They'll be
like
insensitive to it, you know.
like
And I don't know.
they are.
Maybe you could tell me if I'm
So
wrong.
they are. Well, again, this might be one of those moments where, you know what I mean. Like, it might be something that you know way more in depth about that I do not know. Like, I have a black coworker that I work with all the time, and he sees
Yes.
this life differently than I do. Like,
Yes.
duh, you know.
Yes.
And it is really sad, and it's I don't know if there's something that I can do to even affect that,
You
like
know what would
influence
surprise
that.
him?
Like, I
The
don't
the
know.
most the most that you could do would be take a stance on something with him that he would just not expect you to. That you would probably blow his, like, he'd be like, "What? You agreed to that?" He'd be like, "Yeah, you know what, I actually do." You know what I mean? Like, that's a definitely good start just to be able to have an ally. But
Right.
yeah, continue.
Yeah, because I'm not. Yeah.
But it really depends on what though.
But
You know
well,
what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You dig what I'm saying?
Yep. I do think that, you know, like officers, like they are upholders of law. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're the ones that are going to they're writing the tickets and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, does that I don't like does that make them above the law? I'm not too sure.
It
Like
kind
they
of,
up they
because remember, it's like they're going to arrest themselves. I mean, you have internal affairs and stuff like that, but like the dudes in the cars with each other, that's gang. Gang ain't going, you know what I mean? That's gang. You know what I mean when I say that, right?
mm,
Like that's like
not
that's like
really.
like that's like their partner. Like, you ride or die, you're gonna take a bullet from me, right? So why am I going to try to take food out of your kid's mouth? You
Right.
know?
I guess
And
that makes sense. So like okay, yeah, yeah. Like they're not gonna turn on themselves, quote unquote. Like they're
exactly.
not gonna give each other a ticket for
They're
speeding,
fucking, they're not really.
right?
Some do. Some do, and they're most likely ostracized. you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just, you know.
I think maybe see the scrutiny then, like in my view, comes to down to the point of if they are to bear that responsibility well, they need to like behave that way. And if cops get in trouble for not behaving that way, then that's at that point justice needs to be done.
And
You know what I mean?
there's still levels to it. Like there's still levels to it. There's even a charm in using law to, like, I mean, if you do it, you know what I mean. But like killing someone and then kind of getting off scot free when it's like you really didn't have a reason to take a life, you know what I mean. But that life, you can't get it back, you know what I mean. And then it's just
Right,
like
right.
it's just like a casualty of yeah. That's just one example, or even let's say like healthcare, you know,
Murdoch's
like
on. Sorry, that was
no no,
kind of an inside joke for Kato, but
damn it,
he's
you
not
know
even
what?
here.
I'm gonna scrap this. I think he is, but we're talking about like real heavy stuff. We always